Go.
Welcome to the Western Carolina Sailing Club YouTube channel.
Yes. Ready?
Yep. This video is for the mooring team.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring it to my right. Starboard side.
Now you're on the ball. What's the sound?
I got it. I got the tape.
If you ever want to see it, load at the top. Right over. I think it's that mooring right there. See that? Yeah. It's either that mooring or that mooring. That would be it.
This is what's down on the block right here. This is where the bail will be through the block. That's the swivel part on top, and then the mooring chain goes down to it like this. Of course, when you find it, it's going to be laying flat on the block. What you've got is two separate safety wire sets on the pin itself, and two lock washers and a flat washer here. The reason for the lock washers is to keep the chain from sliding over and rubbing on the safety wire so it doesn't chafe the safety wire. The reason for the flat washer is to actually lift everything off the block slightly to reduce the wear of that link on the cement on the block. That's why they are there. So to know if you should replace them or not is really, the flat washer might be worn on the edge here, but it would have to be worn pretty significantly to have to replace it. Otherwise, they are 304 stainless, and in the fresh water they tend to last forever, just like the shackle. The shackle's 316 stainless, but the washers are only 304. So the trick with the safety wire is when you go down, you're going to cut off the safety wire. You're going to use the big adjustable, loosen the pin, take the pin out, drop this away. By that time, the new chain is going to arrive down there on the lead line, and you'll take the last link of the new chain, put it in, and just make this assembly again. Tighten that pin about as tight as you can get with that big wrench, okay? And then you go safety wire one direction, more than one turn. In this case, I think there's 2 or 3 turns on there, I can't really tell. All right, and then you'll tighten it, not to the point of breaking, but snug. And then the second piece of safety wire go through the other way, and that twist should be on this side over here. That way you've got 2 separate pieces of safety wire, so if one gets compromised and it could fall out, the second one is still there. After that, you just untie the chain here and then untie the lead line. So to describe how the lead line works, one diver will take this with them down to the block, you swim down, you go through the big bail, you come back, you tie off 2 half hitches. Don't use a bowline, use 2 half hitches. I can do it. Like that. Once you get that tied on like that, take this and do 2 big yanks like this down there. What that does is it signals the people on deck to start sending the chain down by this sliding shackle. So once you give the 2 big pulls, the deck people are going to tighten up on this line really tight and tie off the barge to this line. That'll take the load off of the old chain that's already on the swivel, and you can get to work down there cutting that safety wire and taking that off.
I learned a bow line. I'm not a knot guy.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Essentially what you want is if you want to be able to get this knot off while the line's under tension.
Yeah.
Okay, because we won't know when to release tension on this. We won't know when you're done. So if you use a bowline down there, you can't get it undone if it's tight. If you use half hitches, you can still get them off.
So what I do is I do a round turn first and then the 2 half hitches, because that takes all the pressure off.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Yeah, so whatever it takes on the bottom end so that you can undo this line under tension. That's really what you want to be able to accomplish. 2 half hitches will do it. I like the round turn, that's even better. Divers, when you're down there though and you give the 2 big yanks and you're working on the swivel, be aware this chain's coming down over your head, right? We're going to lower that chain down and it's going to slide down the lead line, which is nice and tight, but there's an end on here. Once this shackle gets all the way down to there, it'll stop. Here's your block. This end is dangling down in the mud someplace, but it'll hit you in the back or it'll hit you in the head, it'll hit you somewhere, okay? We leave this on here so that you can actually put it back on the block before you untie it here. If you want to untie it first, that's great, doesn't matter. It's just you could leave it tied up while you're getting yourself rearranged on the swivel up here. That way the barge is never untied at any one point. It's always connected to the block. Because if we come untied, finding the block is going to be nearly impossible.
Well, I wouldn't untie that till that.
Correct.
Everything's done.
Exactly. So if just somebody gets confused or gets out of order or whatever it is, if you remove the chain and you remove the line, the block's pretty much gone. We won't be able to find it again.
Yeah.
Questions? Divers know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. The gear you're going to take, you need to take a couple spare washers in case you lose the ones that are down there or they're bad. You probably want to take 2 rolls of safety wire, just in case you drop one, you can't find it, you got another roll. Because I think you're going to be cutting wire down there, right? You're not taking lengths of wire. You're taking a spool of wire and you're going to cut what you need, right? You want to take cutters, you want to take the big adjustable so you can undo the pin. And what else is there?
Just a pair of pliers to twist the wire back.
Pair of pliers to tighten the safety wire. Do you guys normally cut the ends of the safety wire off, or do you just leave them long?
I usually cut them off so that they're sharp.
I'm just saying so that they don't get wrapped around or pulled or whatever it is.
What I'll do is I'll cut them very short and then fold them in on themselves so they're actually protected.
You're folding them inside here.
Yeah, so otherwise when you go down, the next diver that comes down, if this is sticking out, it's going to cut their hand and they're going to...
Okay.
Yeah.
And that can get wrapped up or who knows what. Now the pin should be tight and there should be no degradation in this because it's stainless. So the pin when you go down should be tight again and the wire is just redundant, okay? So you do want to snug that down, but don't make it so tight. Like if you can get some good leverage on it, you make it so tight that the next diver can't get it loose, okay?
Yeah.
So snug it, and also when you do safety wire, if the pin's not, like this one's like perfectly oriented here, if it were kind of like this, you want to do the safety wire in a way where it's actually tightening the pin, rather than the pin have to go a whole half turn before the wire takes up, if you know what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about it too much, but that's the right way to put the safety wire on.
Well, you tighten the pin.
Yeah, you're going to tighten the pin.
And then you put the safety wire.
Then you're going to wrap safety wire. You're going to go around at least 2 times.
And so what he's saying is if your safety wire is pulling this direction when you put it on, that's actually going to be tightening, not...
It's helping to tighten the pin. Let's grab another.
If it's not flush, don't worry about it.
Let me grab another swivel and I'll show you what I mean. The pin is now tight, right? The way to do this would be to take the safety wire like this. Okay, that way it's not backing off, it can't back off any. If you took the safety wire and you put it on like this, now the pin can turn a half a turn before the wire even does anything. Okay, it's not that the pin's gonna turn because it should be wrenched tight anyway, but there is a right way to put the wire on in this configuration and a wrong way to put the wire on. Again, if you're upside down and whatever down there and you just don't know it, just get the wire on and get 2 loops on it and call it good, okay? But if you have the opportunity to say, okay, this way it'll tighten, that's the way I want to do it, that would be the preferred method.
Understood.
Again, with stainless, we don't have a big problem, okay, because it doesn't wear or corrode. The galvanized shackles, we had all kinds of problems because the threads and the body would corrode the space would get big and the pin would actually get loose by just sitting out there.
Yeah.
And then when the chain pulls on it, it does this the whole time. Okay, these it's not really an issue, but we still want the safety wire on because I don't want people putting our boats on moorings that we can't say they're good moorings, right? We
So
want them to be
when you put the second wire on, you're not putting it on the opposite direction.
The only thing I was saying about opposite is to end up with the twisty part on the other side.
Okay, so
you can. It's going to be a.
same line, same way.
Yeah, it's going to be a big blob of wire exactly the same way. It's just where the twisty part is.
Right.
It's just easier to deal with if it's not right there.
Yeah.
Second piece with the safety wire is don't go nuts trying to tighten it, because that last little bit you break the wire and you don't know it, and now the wire's no good, okay? This one's very tight because we can see very clearly what we're doing here, but if you're down there and you can't, get it snug and call it good, because it's really a secondary safety piece. But anyway, that's why the washers are there, to protect the safety wire and to protect that first link. But that's where you're going to see your most chafe and corrosion is the first link. That's the worst link in the whole setup because it's two dissimilar metals and it's always rubbing on concrete. Good?
Good.
Okay.
Before I do that,
Right, take it up and leave it in your
So we
guy.
take that line, we hook it up on this one.
so this is gonna stay hooked.
Yeah. Then we can work on this.
Yeah, you can get this ball off.
Once we get the end. Yeah.
Well, no, you can.
Well,
you
we can work on it. now.
Oh yeah, we can get it
you
already.
take that off.
right.
Take
Yeah.
this ball off. Get it
Yeah.
back.
And then the diver will take the
Diver will
rope.
take the rope.
And then once he's there,
He'll tie off. He'll give 3 big yanks. We'll pull this up as tight as we can get it. Cleat it off.
where do we cleat?
Right.
Okay.
We'll cleat the anchor line off.
Yeah.
As soon as it's cleated off,
Yeah.
we, as slowly and smoothly as we can, we let the chain go down. Once we think we have enough chain out, then we give them enough time to do it. One thing that would be nice I meant to bring is even just a lead line so we knew how much depth we were dealing with. We don't have any way to know how deep we are right here.
We need the cutter.
So where this is tied, you want to make sure it's off the end of the boat, so that the anchor line will run freely through it, not get pinched. Because this has to be able to travel down.
With the diver.
Where? Dan, I think you're going to take this down. Just so you know, Paul said 2 big poles and real big poles. Keith was doing 3 last week, and we probably want to go 3. Make sure we get the signal because I pulled up when I thought he had tied off. I have to pull hard to tie it as straight as I can. And I pulled it out of his hands, and then he's got to come up and down and it's a mess. So the more clear the signal, the better off we are.
You want to do it here, chain?
So what I'm doing, I'm just letting the line run through my hands so that we keep a little bit of tension on it. Because if he has 10 feet of slack in there, he gets a big yank out of the field. Now it's a brand new diver, so I'm slightly concerned that he might have 10 feet of slack so he can work with it and not know to pull all that out before he gives me my yanks, because I've got more rope out today than we did last time we did this on any single dive. So we could lay the chain out, so pull it out of the bucket and lay it back and forth, like 4 loops up and down the deck. That way we know it runs clean. Because we want to lower that chain as smoothly as possible because it's coming down the diver's heads.
in here. That'll be another job for you guys. Is splicing the new pennant.
Wow.
Bag right in
3 guys down there, a lot of bubbles.
We want this low.
Are you tight on that line?
Yeah.
Yep, good.
We can slack the chain. They can't disconnect
A
it.
foot or two.
Yeah, don't let it all go.
Fast. Just that's it. Need help? More? Good. Perfect.
You'll see the difference. Is that just your best guess?
So that's one of the reasons I lay out on deck. I know this is about, he says these are 4-foot panels, 16, so 32 feet, plus a little bit. Just means I have to pull more up. They've got a pile down there, but if it's coming down nice and slow, it shouldn't hurt them. I'd rather have a little bit too much down there. I meant to just get a lead line, just so that we can sit here, check the depth,
You could crank it in
and then know exactly how much chain to let out. And I'll do that for the next time. So right now,
In this doing, when we're trying to finalize and set the scope, cut the chain, when will the diver show his head up?
so as soon as this rope is loose, that means this is bolted, so they'll start their ascent.
That's right, we put a piece of safety wire. Well, then they can tell us exactly how to do it.
Like a,
For the member.
Yeah, well, but it doesn't matter. We will pull this chain tight, and then we just pull back, mark it, and cut it.
And out here you can put right to the last link, which regardless of scope, or regardless of lake level, but you do need to take lake level into account when the lake is down. So if you were working out here and we were 12 feet down, you'd need to add 12 to whatever you were going to do.
You get to Europe, September, and sailing season near end. So if I went Bahamas,
There we are, man.
right, pull it up tight, cleat it off.
With the least amount of time. That's what this is.
Cleat that off. There you go. Push the chain over the end before you pull it tight, otherwise it's real hard to get it together.
57, all unsafe.
All right. Rick, pull that off. Let's give them a little bit of slack on this side. I got the chain.
47, we'll get, that'll go to 0, right?
No. Oh yeah, that can go down. Slowly. I got the chain, so you're not struggling with threads.
push it in, then you just slide this up.
Okay.
And then you just got to pull on that, but it doesn't spin, so you have to help it. If you want to do it more, just let it go in and then pull again.
Okay, one more.
Well, no, that's probably enough.
Squeeze the handle.
Squeeze the handle and unlock it.
Okay, got it. You don't have to replace it. Put it there on this one. Just like the previous guy was added one every time. You just need to get through both bales, no swivel, no nothing. That's out of the picture now. You go through both bales, you wiggle around like this, and find out right there. Gotcha. Okay. But that's only if we were added. We probably don't need to add it. If we don't need to add it, we're not adding it.
I understand. Yeah, that's good. Chop up above it.
Cool. Good. That's a shackle. Got the number on it?
The tide.
Go to